There is great information about fitness all over the place. I've taken what I think is the most valuable, compiled it into one video, and we're going to get you your perfect customized diet plan. So let's hop into the video. Alright guys, I've broken this down into 5 different steps so that you can understand it better. And step 1 is to find out your numbers. What I mean by this is you should know your body fat percentage, you should know how many maintenance calories you need, and you should know the duration for which you want to diet. All of this information is super important because it leads to goal setting and helps you change your diet along the way to make sure you are getting to where you want to be. Now, I really like to use the Scooby Workshop body calculator. You see me put in my information here, and basically I'm going to be able to see what I need to eat. It even gives you suggested meals, and I'm going to see how much I should lose based off of the calorie deficit that I'm in. Now for me, I'm around a 3,000 at maintenance, and depending on how low I decide to go, I'm anywhere from 2,200 to 2,500 when I'm dieting, and that's how many calories I'm eating every day. I really like that they'll graph out your weight loss here for you. So, the first thing that you need to do when you're writing down your diet plan is that you need to determine, okay, for the next 2 weeks of this, we'll say it's an 8-week diet, and for the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna eat 2,100 calories a day, 2,200 calories a day. I wouldn't suggest going much more than a 25% calorie reduction, just because at that point you're not giving your body enough nutrients that it needs to build muscle, and we don't want to lose any muscle when we're cutting. We want to keep as much of it as possible. Step number 2, discipline. The hardest part about dieting is being consistent. If you've ever went on a diet, you know that you get cravings, you want to eat late at night, you want to eat an extra candy bar. And do you even track your calories? Tracking your calories is essential. You've got to use an app like MyFitnessPal, or even just putting it in on a calculator. And remember that a lot of places, like fast food places, they'll overestimate what they're actually giving you. So always try to make sure that you're a little bit under what is actually listed for the calories that you're eating, because more often than not, that's higher than it really is. Another great thing to do is to actually weigh your food and figure out how many calories is actually in it based off the weight. One thing I've noticed that's really helpful for dieting is having 2-week checkpoints. No matter how long it is, if you check in every 2 weeks and you say, okay, this is what I did good, I cheated here, maybe I'm going too low. What can I do to help me combat that hunger a little better so that I don't cheat again? Maybe that means sparkling water. Maybe that means you're gonna start fasting every day. Maybe that means you need to make sure that you drink a gallon of water every day. Whatever it is, make sure that any failures you might have during the 2-week period, in the next 2 weeks, that it doesn't happen again. That's gonna make sure that you get the most out of your diet and that you're making the most progress you possibly can. Step number 3 is fasting. Now, fasting is a hugely underestimated portion of dieting. Now, the reason fasting is so important is because when you're fasting, I'm not talking about just not eating for a whole week. I'm talking about intermittent fasting. And what that means is 6, 7, 8 hours after you wake up, you don't have your first meal until then. So if I woke up at 9 a.m., I might not have my first meal until 5 p.m. in the afternoon. You might be thinking, that's crazy, don't you get super hungry every day? But there's lots of things you can do to combat that hunger. One of those is coffee. Kino Buddy talks about this a lot. He has a black or Americano coffee in the morning. It's 5 calories, something like that, and then sparkling water like this throughout the day. It combats that hunger and it's low in calories. Another benefit of fasting is the fact that it is proven that our minds are in a higher mental state when in a fasted state. I think that the reason for this is because of our ancestors. When they woke up, they had to go out and hunt and then bring their food in. They wouldn't get up and start eating right away like we do now. You need to make sure that you're in that heightened state so that you can go get the food so that you can eat later. And that's probably the same reason. A lot of the work that I get done is usually right away in the morning. There's a great quote on this website that says, in ancient Greece, the great thinkers would fast for days on end, not because they needed to lose weight, but because they believed that fasting would increase their mental agility. All right, step number 4. You can't always go by the weight. Your weight fluctuates tremendously throughout the day. A great way to track your progress is to instead use a fat caliper. I've linked one down below to one that you can get that I actually use. It's much more accurate. When you look at weight, you've got water weight to worry about and all kinds of other factors that are going to throw off what you actually weigh and whether or not you're making progress. All right, tip number 5, and the most important tip I have for you guys is screw cheat days. Cheat days are the most unnecessary and backwards thing for diets. Now, what I like to do is trick myself into that I'm getting a cheat day. In reality, I'll only be eating at maintenance, but that's a significant increase of what I would normally eat on a diet anyways. So when I'm eating at maintenance, I'm eating more food than normal, but I'm not gonna gain any weight. I'm not doing anything more than my body needs. I'm literally only putting in the calories that I'm gonna burn, so I'm at 0 for the end of the day. It gives you that break and that motivation that you need to keep going without starving yourself for weeks on end. And it allows you to eat more without actually gaining more fat. And that basically wraps it up, guys. So make sure you remember these things when you're planning your next diet, and make sure that you do it for yourself. Don't copy anyone else, not even me. I'm going to give you the tools for you to create your own customized diet to get lean and ready for summer. All right, you guys, make sure you leave a like and hit that subscribe button. I'm coming out with content almost every day. So this is Fit AP. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.